Hello world, Theet here, and recently I've been in a creative rut, so in this video I'm going to outsource the dirty work and have ChatGPT come up with a new generated structure to be added to Minecraft. After a couple of false starts involving new biomes instead of structures, and mobs that don't exist, I finally got this gem, the Ruined Temple, a large temple made of stone brick, mossy stone brick, and crackstone brick, apparently, with tons of loot and traps. That really piqued my interest, so I got to work implementing ChatGPT's vision in Minecraft. I began by making a stone brick base for the temple to sit on. ChatGPT says it's supposed to be a large structure, so I figured 31 by 31 would do. Next, I built a grand staircase leading from the ground up and began etching designs into the base using stone brick walls and stairs, as well as chiseled stone brick to add detailing and depth. Once I had a couple of designs I liked, I copied them to surround the base. With this out of the way, it was time to begin designing the temple. I started with a grand archway at the top of the stairs, with two small rooms on either side. I originally wanted to have some mob spawners here, but they weren't very effective with stained glass windows, so I scrapped that idea. I then built a second floor above each of these rooms, with more stained glass windows, providing some light, and filled them with cool decorations like candles, bookshelves, and barrels with sacrificial loot, because what's a temple without loot, or sacrifices? Next, I expanded the archway inwards to create a grand entrance hall connecting to the side rooms. Above these rooms, I wanted to have a pair of tall towers looming out over the landscape, so I made a frame with stone bricks, walls, and chiseled stone bricks, complete with a bell tower at the top, and then used a mix of stairs and walls to fill in the walls and give the bell towers an open and airy vibe. To get up to the top, I used trapdoors to give the illusion of a dangling ladder, and then began working on a treacherous winding staircase up the bell tower using stone brick slabs. I also filled in some of the gaps with more random stained glass windows. Once I was satisfied with how it looked, I used the magical clone command to duplicate the tower on the other side. Next up was the main room. ChatGPT specified that this should include a central altar with rare loot, so after whipping up some basic pews, I began working on a towering stone brick altar at the back of the room. Of course, I did want me to include traps in the structure, so I tried dispensers that dump lava on you before deciding I wanted something a bit more explosive. After doing some experiments and accidentally griefing the surrounding forest a few times, I eventually came up with this absolutely evil trap where a trap chest triggers a dispenser that sets off a TNT minecart, immediately destroying the altar platform and dumping you into a lava pit. Happy looting. After spending way too long in that trap, I was finally able to return to something constructive, namely building the walls surrounding the main room and also making the altar a bit more detailed. Next, I carved two holes in the wall for a pair of giant circular stained glass windows on either side of the pews, before throwing in some stairs and candles for detailing, as well as an enchanting table in the library to teach players that you can upgrade them with bookshelves. Next, I built a massive arching roof over the main room, adding in stairs to smooth out the edges and putting in another window and supporting arches to break up the monotony. And I finally added an extremely extra chandelier, because why not, and made the roof arches a bit more detailed and extras, also because why not. A few details etched into the back using stone brick walls, stairs, and chiseled stone bricks completed the roof, except now the outside was looking a bit barren, so I also had to throw on a few rows of mini spires and chiseled stone bricks to break up the surface. I then added a little design to one of the few bare parts of the exterior remaining before heading inside to finish up the main room. I threw down a red carpet in the hall to match the one on the altar before adding a mini garden in one corner, complete with an ornate winding staircase going up. I then did another in the other corner before adding a few windows behind the altar, completing the main room. For the final part of the exterior, I whipped up a smaller tower in the back corner, using a similar aesthetic to the front spires, but scaled down, and added some interior details like this office. But we're not done yet. ChatGPT mentioned a hidden trapdoor that leads to a secret room. So I began creating the catacombs in the base of the temple, only accessible through a trapdoor at the base of one of the spire rooms. Inside the catacombs, I created a series of dungeons with mob spawners and basic loot, connected by dark, narrow passageways. This also gives the structure a use beyond just loot, because where else are you going to find a triple spawner naturally? And in the center, not connected to any of the passageways, I built the crypt, containing a sarcophagus-like structure in the middle and some pretty OP loot. To protect it, I obviously needed more traps. ChatGPT mentioned a pressure plate that sets off arrow dispensers, so I came up with this diabolical setup that spams harming arrows when triggered. Very deadly, especially in a confined space, but also free redstone components if you're careful. After that, it was time to look at the one suggestion I hadn't tackled yet, a lever puzzle. I was running out of space in the catacombs at this point, so I made a simple setup with 3 levers on the walls. One of them opens a secret piston door to the crypt, the other 2 set off 6 TNT each. And if you try to cheese it by mining through the wall, there's a good chance the observer will just set off the TNT anyway. But there was still one problem. This was supposed to be a ruined temple, and so far it didn't look very ruined. I began solving this problem by scattering moss carpets across every flat surface, and also breaking up the regular carpet a bit. Next up, I began swapping out stone bricks for mossy and cracked stone bricks, which, to be fair, ChatGPT already said to do, and I hadn't yet. To further accentuate the ruined feel, I came up with the idea of replacing some full blocks in the floors and walls with slabs and stairs, making it look like parts of the stone had crumbled away over the years. I even waterlogged some of these holes, simulating puddles on the floor. Additionally, I partially broke the windows. If even stone is crumbling away, then logically the glass should also be broken. All in all, I think I made it look a lot more worn. For a final touch, I scattered vines around the exterior, covering the temple in a layer of ancient greenery. And even putting some on the interior to make it really look like nature is reclaiming the temple. Before I shut it off, I had to fix the messes I made to the surrounding landscape. But now that that's done, enjoy the showcase.